It was a cold, breezy Saturday afternoon when a young girl and her mother wandered into a small, cluttered animal shelter nestled between tall buildings and busy streets. The shelter was filled with the scent of hay, the soft whimpering of puppies, and the hopeful glances of animals waiting for new homes. The girl's eyes immediately fixed on a tiny, fluffy puppy curled up in a corner, with big, pleading eyes that seemed to hold the universe's secrets. She tugged at her mother's sleeve, her voice trembling with excitement. "Can we get her? Please. I promise I'll take care of her. I'll feed her, play with her, and keep her safe." The mother paused, her face shadowed with worry. She looked down at her daughter's eager face, then at the puppy, whose tail wagged softly despite the dim surroundings. She hesitated, knowing the truth behind their financial struggles. She longed to give her daughter happiness, but the weight of their hardships pressed heavily on her shoulders. "Sweetheart," she whispered softly, "we don't have enough money right now, maybe another day." But the girl's eyes sparkled with determination. She reached out, gently stroked the puppy's soft fur and whispered, "Hope. I'll name her Hope. She's the one who'll make everything better." Over the next few weeks, the girl's resolve only grew stronger. She saved every penny from doing chores around the house, from selling handmade crafts to washing cars in the neighborhood. She even set up a small lemonade stand on the corner, pouring her heart into every glass she offered. She'd sit patiently, hoping her efforts would finally lead to her dream of having a puppy. Meanwhile, her mother watched her with a mixture of pride and sadness, knowing how much her daughter longed for companionship. She always said yes to her daughter's small acts of kindness, but deep down, she felt helpless. Her job was demanding, her pay was minimal, and she carried a secret burden she couldn't share. One evening, after a long, exhausting day at work, the mother received an invitation. A charity auction was being held that night at a nearby hotel, organised by a wealthy company owner who was renowned for his generosity. The event promised to raise funds for local families in need, and among the items up for bidding was a special donation from a mysterious benefactor, an anonymous contributor whose generosity had helped many. The mother hesitated. She knew they couldn't afford to bid on anything, especially not something as precious as a puppy. But her daughter's pleading eyes haunted her, and she couldn't refuse her request to attend the auction just to see if they might have a chance. Arriving at the Grand Hotel, they felt out of place among the well-dressed guests and glimmering chandeliers. The atmosphere was lively, filled with anticipation and the clink of glasses. As the evening progressed, the auction items changed hands quickly. Beautiful paintings, luxury vacations, rare collectibles. Then, a hush fell over the crowd as an elegant man with a commanding presence took the stage. He was known in the city as a successful CEO, a man whose name was whispered with both admiration and caution. He was the benefactor behind many charitable efforts, but few knew the shadows lurking behind his polished exterior. The auctioneer announced the next item, a donation from the silent benefactor himself, a contribution to a local animal shelter, and more importantly, a chance for someone in the room to win a special prize. Suddenly, the girl's voice broke through the murmur of voices. "I want to bid on the puppy," she said softly but firmly. Her mother looked shocked. "Honey, we can't..." But the girl was already holding up her paddle, voice unwavering. "Please, we need her. She's the only thing that can make us happy again." The bidding escalated quickly. The man on stage watched quietly, a flicker of something unreadable crossing his face. The crowd was caught up in the excitement, but the girl's resolve was unshakable. She kept raising her paddle, whispering to herself, "Hope. Hope will make everything better." The final bid was announced, and to everyone's surprise, the girl's mother was the highest bidder. Tears welled up in her eyes as she clutched her daughter close. They had won. As they hurried home with their new puppy, the tiny, trembling bundle of fur, the girl couldn't stop smiling. She named her Hope and promised to take care of her forever. Hope quickly became the center of their world, filling their days with wagging tails and joyful barks. Meanwhile, the man who had watched the bidding from afar disappeared into the night, leaving behind an impression that he had seen something special in the girl's eyes. In the days that followed, life seemed to improve, at least a little. The girl took on more chores, her mother found comfort in the puppy's playful antics, and hope blossomed anew. But behind the scenes, a hidden story was unfolding. The man, the CEO, had a dark past. Years ago, he had made a difficult decision that haunted him, an act of mercy that cost him dearly. He had let go of someone he loved, a woman who had been like family to him, a woman whose departure had left a scar that never fully healed. That woman was the girl's mother. Unbeknownst to them, the man's charity was his way of seeking redemption. When he saw the girl begging for the puppy, he saw echoes of himself, hope, innocence, and the pain of letting go. He had watched her from afar, silently wishing he could undo his past mistakes. One day, as the girl played with Hope in the park, she noticed a familiar figure watching from a distance. It was the man from the auction. He approached cautiously, and with a gentle voice, he introduced himself. The girl looked up, surprised by his kindness. Her mother hesitated, but eventually nodded, sensing that this stranger might hold answers she needed. Over time, the girl's family learned the truth. The man was the CEO who had once made a painful choice, to let go of a loved one to save others. The woman who had been fired from her job was, in fact, the same woman who now stood before them, a little older, a little wiser, but still carrying the same kind heart. And so, what began as a simple act of begging, a girl's plea for a puppy, became a story of redemption, forgiveness, and the unbreakable bond of hope. The puppy became a symbol of new beginnings, reminding everyone that sometimes the smallest acts can lead to the most extraordinary journeys.